Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, it is so rocking to be with you. Well, here it is Saturday. It's time for our Saturday seance. Just let you guys know, Psychic Bob's fine. Yesterday I ran into a lot of technical problems and I wasn't able to get out a video. I kept having power outages here. It was storming, my internet was going down, and then I had readings in between. It's just one of those days. Some days, it's just like that. No matter what your best intentions are, things go astray. So that's how yesterday is. But not to worry, Psychic Bob's here. I'm still working, still doing everything I always do. But we're going to have Saturday seance. And I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you who came out to my recent videos. If you didn't see those, check them out. They were in the queue right before this one. We had a cool adventure on Thursday. Went out walking. Went to Pier 1. I had a great time. So definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys are the best. And if you're new here, definitely hit subscribe. Be part of our channel. And, for those of you who are enjoying this, you can definitely pop over to my website. Also, I have a book called Messages from Rose. She's one of my spirit guides I channel. And if we're lucky, she'll come through tonight. Let's hope. I never know who's going to come through what I channel, but she's a regular and I love her. So if you like this today and want to learn more about Rose and my work with her, you might want to go over to my website, robert-hickman.com. I'll put the link in the box below and pick up a copy of Messages from Rose and get one for a friend, buy and give us a gift. They're not expensive. Also got Psychic Bob's book of Wiccan Wisdom over there. It's about my mystical work as a Wiccan. It's got beautiful artworks in it, and I think you'll enjoy it. So, pop over to my website, check out my books. Well, I'm so glad you're here. Well, for those of you who are new, this is something we do each Saturday. We gather and have a little seance, and I'm a trance medium. What that means is that when I go under in trance, I open myself to receive the spirits who overshadow my consciousness and take temporary control of my body. It is not possession, don't be afraid. It's a union. I work with them to allow them to come through. And so it's not scary. It may look a little strange, but I'm really quite okay when we do this. So anyways, we're going to see what the spirit world has. So, I tell you, just pull up your chairs here around us. We're going to have our little virtual seance circle, and we'll see what the spirit has for you. So, make yourself comfortable. I'm going to go into trance, so I'll see you when I get back. Oh, greetings, this is Fletcher here. Give us just a moment while we get greater control of the medium's vibration. Oh, there we go. Think we got him all out of the way so we can come through. Well, got a wise old gentleman here who has a few words, so I'll be stepping from the body. This is Fletcher, over and out. The wisdom of the ages is available to anyone who seeks it. Many people today have forgotten that there is ancient wisdom that remains untapped. People think themselves advanced because they can create an automobile that can move at 100 miles a minute, and yet they are not aware of their own soul. Inside of you is that spark of the divine. When I was a young man, I delved deeply into the mystery of the soul. I wanted to know, did one survive death? I visited various spiritualists, and I could tell you I saw miraculous things. In one seance, an apparition appeared before me. It was a great uncle of mine who had died many years before, and I tell you I knew him, could clearly see his features, heard his voice, and saw his form. was no trick of the mind. He was present, and all in the room were able to see him and interact with him. Yes, I became a believer in the eternality of life. I visited mediums where voices came through them, and I spoke with those on the other side. They answered my questions, and I knew that I was receiving truth. This is why we are so pleased to work with this medium, for he allows us to use his body to come through, to manifest, and to be present for all of you. I encourage each of you to let go of your fear. Do not be afraid of this life nor the life to come. You do not have to eschew this life in order to know the life beyond. Your life is really stepped in both worlds. You are in the material world as well as the spiritual world. You will see many people on the earth forget the spiritual world and become fully enamored with the material world. This is not necessarily evil or make them bad people, no, but it does limit their ability to find transcendence. In the earthly life, people are met with challenges. People become sick, people die. Death is all about you. Many of you, if you think back to your childhood, you had a beloved pet. At some point they most likely died. And you grieve because how cruel death is. But you understand that death is merely a doorway to our world, to the spirit world. You will accept it with a greater ease. You will find that life becomes more joyful, more peaceful, more prosperous. You're letting go of fear of death. Many people become paralyzed and cannot even speak the word. I remember that in my lifetime, when I had my mother die, many people came to the home to wish us well. Yet there were, curiously, some people who did not come to visit. At the time I could not understand it. It was very bitter. I thought you were a friend of my mother's in life and you abandoned her in death. But nowadays I do not look upon them with such judgment. It is a fact that many in the earth cannot face this fact. And the churches have not done much to assist people. They terrorize them with, well, your loved one may have gone to a flaming place of hell where they will suffer forever. It makes people wonder. In a Catholic church, they say, well, they most likely did not go to heaven, they went to purgatory. I can tell you, I've been to purgatory. It is not a pleasant place. It is not accurately taught by the churches. You see, in purgatory, one is aware of oneself, one is aware of one's shortcomings. One is given the opportunity to reflect and to grow one's soul. I will tell you that the time in purgatory was far more difficult and challenging than any of my earthly challenges. But you see, a soul need not go there. All that is required is that you remember who you are. Fight the temptation to be blinded to the spiritual world. Fight the temptation of your society that says you're only a collection of molecules and nothing more. You're an animal who's evolved from nothing. It is true that evolution has a point, but only to a point. All of life is sacred. The life of the baboon, the life of the amoeba, the life of the squirrel in your tree. All of you are interconnected. And when you accept that you are part of the circle and the cycle of life, and that this life that you claim to know actually has an element of spirituality, that there is an eternality to it. Death is only a transition, you see. It is not the end of the world. It is not the end of consciousness. Think about yourself when you sleep at night. Some nights you have no dreams, at least that you remember them. But science says that every night humans dream. Some nights you recall your dreams in vivid detail. These are products of the mind, but not only the mind, they are products also of the spirit. In your sleep state, your soul emerges from your body. Your conscious mind, your spirit mind, and your conscious physical mind are still unified, even when separated from the body. It is through this union of minds that you will remember your dreams. Some of you will have dreams of flying through cosmos, traveling to far and distant places, even different times, different worlds. This is the soul that is questing knowledge, questing journey, questing experience. It is the human condition that one will always seek knowledge. All of you, even the most ignorant and the most least educated, I should say, has a quest for knowledge. Sometimes those who are less educated have an easier go at it, but they don't get all tangled up in their mind. They accept truth for what it is, truth before them. You do not think that intellectually you're superior because you have a doctorate degree. You may be very knowledgeable in the worldly sense, and yet in the spiritual sense you may be like a small child. Whereas a less worldly person, a peasant person, who is looked upon as lower classes and the dredges of the earth, may yet have an advanced soul that can talk with angels. My father told me of when he was a young man, he went to Wales, and while in Wales he met a man who was a mystic. And this mystic man was from peasant stock. He worked in a coal mine. He did not have any great wealth or nobility. And yet people from all around the village, and here, dare I say, the whole entire country, would come to sit at the feet of this man to hear him talk about the spirit world. He claimed to have seen angels, and himself had been to the spirit world. He had also the gift of clairvoyance, meaning that he could see the future for those who come to him. This ability fascinated my father. It had never left him. I suppose it's one of the things that began me on my own spiritual quest, was that I knew that there were those who had somehow touched in upon that other world. Well, I come to you today through this medium to give you another example that this world, our world, the spirit world, is eternal, it is real, and we live here in joy and in light. And all you have to do is ask for our presence, and we will show ourselves to you. We will be present for you. We will assist you. You have nothing to lose by embracing the spiritual world, only can you gain. Do not do as I was. Do not be as I was, I should say. Do not become enamored with the joys of the flesh to the point that you forget who you really are. The body is important, but only in so much as that it is a vehicle to allow you to learn lessons. Do not waste your time with addictions, with lusts of the flesh. It is all right to have pleasure in life, but remember to maintain the balance of the body, the mind, and the spirit. Then you will have peace, you will have joy. My name is Alfred. Greetings, my dear. This is Rose. It's a blessing to be here with you. You know, I cannot but sit in awe when I hear Alfred teaching. I learn from him. Everybody over here loves him, but also very blessed by his wisdom. You see, Alfred is an example that even the brightest minds can be led astray by their own misguided thoughts. To hear him speak today, it would be very difficult to believe that that man ever was in the darkest levels of purgatory. Yet he himself has been there, and I saw him myself there. But you see, this is the wonderful teaching of spiritualism. Spiritualism says that all souls can grow in the light. You know, my neighbour Madge, she always said, Rose, we won't give up on you. We know that you'll have faith of a spiritualist yet. And you know, I used to always have the debates. Well, I remember Church of England. Why do I want to be involved with that crazy spiritualism? But you see, in time I learned that many of the things she told me were absolutely true. Dare I say, actually, all the things she told me. And yet many of the things my vicar told me were also true. Please try to understand this. It's not so important what you call your religion. It's more important that you have truth within your heart, within your soul, and that you not only know it, but live by it, you see. This is where Alfred made a mistake. He knew truth, and yet he abandoned it and became obsessed with things that led him away from the light. I myself also, through my vanity and refusal to have some humility in my life, was led away from the light. Make no mistake, God does not throw souls into purgatory or to hell. You walk there of your own accord. Every day you can choose, will you align yourself with the light, or will you align yourself with darkness? It's really that simple, my dear. So if you say, oh, dear, I hope when I die I'll go to the light, I'll be in the high places of heaven. If you want that, then you shall have it, my dear. But you also have to work for it. So it doesn't mean you can be slack and sit around and say, oh, I'll have a golden harp in heaven. If you want to have a harp, you have to earn it. This is why my neighbour Madge always said, she said, it is the deeds that you do, not the creeds that you hold. And so every day, seek to do a little good in the world. Bring a little light. And if you do so, you will be making for yourself a beautiful afterlife. The spirit world is all about service. I wish I had done more service while on earth. But you see, you can do it now. And you have the chance and the opportunity. No, don't be overwhelmed, my dears. Don't say, oh, my dear, I have to go and travel the world and save all of the starving people. No, my dear, charity starts at home. Maybe your work will be something as simple as visiting a homeless shelter and bringing a few cans of soup. Very small task, but I can say very greatly appreciated by the hungry souls there, and by those who run the shelter. Your kindness will be noted. And even if no one notices your kindness, and you say, well, I do all these good things, nobody sees it. Heaven sees it, my dear. We in the spirit world see it. We watch it, chart it, we guide you along the way. Don't work for the glory of man, work for the joy of heaven. And this is where you'll have great success and great happiness. So don't let yourselves be overwhelmed. You see, find one little deed you can do. Perhaps it's simply sending a letter to somebody who's distant, who's alone. Write a joyful letter to uplift them. Maybe it's visiting a neighbour and bringing a little snack over, having a cup of tea, inviting them in. You can bring joy to those around you, and in doing that, you'll be doing the work of the spirit world, and you will have a connection to us in an even greater way. Yes, Madge was right. It is deeds that you do, not creeds, that will attain heaven for you, my dear. You can believe all that you want, but if you don't have love, you don't have service to those in need, you don't have much in your life, my dears. Love, help those who are suffering, and you will have a great reward in heaven. Yes, my dears, there is an eternal life, and like Alfred said, I come today to tell each of you to keep love in your heart and know that even in those times when you feel alone and despondent, you're not alone, my dears. You are loved by our world, and we send you our blessing always. Fletcher says that the medium's power is growing weak, so we shall have to step from the body soon. I'm so very thankful for you taking the time to visit with us today. And on behalf of Alfred, I extend his greetings and thanks to you as well. So, my dears, keep love in your hearts. Call upon our world. We're sure to help you. Have no fear. I feel the power going now, and so I have to step from the boarding. I still need you of you, my love. Call upon me, if you will. Rose.